Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes, tamu sana. There is a very interesting story that was captured by Sunday Standard today. A story I want us to have a look, for it's going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion right now. Leaders affiliated to Azimio have disclosed to the Sunday Standard that results of a private poll showed Raila's popularity in the area is rising gradually, giving them a confidence boost. And if you go through that story, Standard is reporting that Azimio One Kenya conducted or rather commissioned a private poll on the mountain to gauge Raila's popularity on the mountain. And they found out that Raila Odinga is actually gaining and gaining massively on the mountain. So in this video, I want us to dig deep to see the truth behind that story. Now that Kalonzo Musyoka is repeating, even as late as today, his foot soldiers, the likes of Mike Movie Sonko, was saying, no Kalonzo, no Raila Odinga. So in this video, I want us to dig deep to see the political implications of all those current political happenings in Azimio. In case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you, God bless you, God bless Kenya. Yes, I saw Sonko campaigning today in some parts of Ukambani, and he was insisting no Kalonzo, no Raila Odinga. And I also equally saw Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua also just repeating the same sentiments. And you know, Enoch Wambua is in the vetting panel that is charged with the responsibility of identifying Raila Odinga's running mate. So from the look of things, Kalonzo's team, or rather Kalonzo's camp, they insist that if Kalonzo Musyoka is not Raila's running mate, then most definitely they won't support Raila's presidential bid. And from the look of things, I know Raila and Uhuru are very much aware of those demands by Kalonzo's camp. And just as I did state in this YouTube channel some few weeks ago, I'm seeing a very high possibility where Raila and Uhuru are cleverly and very keenly weighing their options. If they will find that they can win this year's presidential election without the input of Kalonzo Musyoka, I'm seeing a very high possibility of Uhuru and Raila Odinga not giving Kalonzo Musyoka that post of a running mate. And for Uhuru and Raila not to give Kalonzo that post of a running mate, I'm almost sure and very certain that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga shall have factored the worst case scenario where Kalonzo Musyoka would team up with Deputy President William Ruto. So the moment actually Azimio will announce or rather Raila's running mate, and that running mate will not be Kalonzo Musyoka, I know for a fact that they shall have considered all those factors. And if you look at things very objectively, Raila's presidential bid in this year's election will likely depend on Ukambani vote and on the mountain vote. I'm seeing those two areas actually determining whether Raila Odinga will win the presidency or not. And I'm saying that because of this. If you look at the mountain votes, and this is an analysis I've been constantly repeating here. If Raila can get 30% of the mountain vote, William Ruto walks away with 70% of the mountain vote, plus Kalonzo Musyoka's votes. Raila Odinga will still win this year's presidential election. That is the reality, and that's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And I've always been giving examples here. In the last elections of 2017, in the last presidential elections of 2017, Uhuru Kenyatta got 4 million votes in all Mount Kenya counties across the nation. And I'm not talking about registered voters. I'm talking of those who turned out and cast, or rather voted, for Uhuru Kenyatta. They were about 4 million votes. And if you look at the newly registered voters in 2022, across the country, we only have 1.5 million new registered votes. So if at all the turnout was to be somehow equal as it was in 2017, then the results might not be all that different. We might just find, maybe in this case, William Ruto getting somehow similar votes of what Uhuru Kenyatta got. If at all William Ruto was to win all the votes Uhuru Kenyatta got from the Mount Kenya counties across the country, things, newly registered voters have not changed much. But in 2017, Uhuru Kenyatta got 4 million votes in all Mount Kenya counties across the country. And Raila Molo Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, delivered to Raila Odinga slightly over 800,000 votes. Yes. In 2017 elections, about 1 million votes were cast in the 3 Ukambani counties. Those who turned out to vote were about slightly over 1 million votes. About 1.1, I think something like that. Raila got about 800, Uhuru went with about 180,000 votes. So you can see clearly that in the event Kalonzo Musyoka walks out of Raila Odinga, then we are just giving him that 800,000 votes. If Raila can manage 30% of the mountain votes Uhuru Kenyatta got in 2017, that's 1.2 million votes. So 1.2 million votes actually cancels 800,000 votes Kalonzo gave Raila Molo Odinga. And Raila still is left, or rather Raila still has in his bag 400,000 votes. Those are the main political, or rather voting baskets I'm seeing determining the president in this year's election. And I'm only focusing on these two areas because largely Western is still pro-Raila Molo Odinga. Raila still commands a very good, in fact, a similar number of votes as it was in 2017. And if you look at some counties like Kisii and Nyamira, Raila is actually gaining more than actually performed in 2017. In 2017, it was almost an equal thing, 50-50 kind of a situation. So Raila is actually gaining in some parts of the country, more so in Kisii, and also if you look at Northeastern, Raila is actually gaining, or rather getting more votes than he did in 2017 presidential elections. And then if you look at some other counties, like Masaini, even Rift Valley, Raila is actually gaining. So I'm seeing a very high possibility where it's only the mountain vote and Ukambani vote that is going to determine whether Raila becomes the president or not. If Raila can only manage 30% of the mountain votes, then with or without Kalonzo's votes, irrespective of how Kalonzo will behave, Raila Odinga will still win this year's presidential election. I'm saying that with a lot of confidence. And then again, if you look at Kalonzo Musyoka and his team, they have actually been very aggressive attacking Raila Molo Odinga. And Raila supporters and leaders supporting Raila Odinga, they have actually been guarded. They have not been really throwing, or rather exchanging ones with Kalonzo's team. But today, I was actually surprised to see Raila's foot soldiers from the coast actually answering back Kalonzo Musyoka. Another indication that maybe Raila and his team might be getting impatient with Kalonzo's team, the way they have actually been treating Raila Odinga. Have a look at this.
It is now becoming apparent that some leaders want to make it appear that it was a precondition for them to be awarded the position of presidential running mate as a ticket for joining or participating in Azimio. We see this as nothing short of blackmail, and as ODM and proud co-founder members of Azimio, we believe our birth was not out of fear, but that of respecting others' views without infringing others' rights. Even more disturbing is the fact that some of these leaders have reduced themselves to becoming agents of creating disharmony along tribal and religious lines in the country. For the avoidance of doubt, we want to categorically state that we shall not condone this kind of behavior, considering how far this country has come from. We are also aware that some of these theatrics are aimed at diluting the major contribution within Azimio by pragmatic leaders such as His Excellency Hassan Ali Joho and Kitui Governor, Her Excellency Charity Ngilu, who stand a very good chance of being picked as possible running mates. And lastly, as leaders, we wish to affirm our support and commitment in building a better future for this country within the Azimio framework.
Na tunashangaa kwamba wewe utakuwa ni mwanachama katika mseto wa Azimio, lakini unapinga kinara ambaye amechaguliwa kuwa presidential candidate ama kuwa yeye ni mgombea wa kiti cha uraisi. Sasa tunauliza, utakuwa kweli unataka kiongozi huyo achukue hatamu ya uongozi wa kitaifa ama pengine una agenda nyingine? Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema hatutakubali ya kwamba kuwe na vyama vingine ama viongozi ambao wako na agenda fiche, agenda ya kuvunja Azimio. Lengo na madhumuni ya Azimio ni Azimio tuiboreshe, na Azimio iwe na nguvu, na Azimio iunde serikali ya taifa la Kenya.
Yes. From that short clip again, you can see clearly that maybe Raila and his team might be getting impatient with Kalonzo Musyoka. And that might be maybe a sign of things to come. That maybe in the coming days, you'll find Raila's men and his lieutenants now actually telling Kalonzo clearly either to shape up or rather to toe the line or actually to walk out. That's also a possibility. And also Ayub Savula, while speaking in Western, made things very clear to Kalonzo Musyoka that either if he continues, then they'll now be forced as Raila supporters to actually go to Kambani to start campaigning for Raila Odinga. So in the coming few days, I'm seeing the political situation getting more interesting now that the deadline for these two coalitions to deposit their running mate is on 16th. Yes, this month. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, let me stop it there. In case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.